If you are over 60, what if I told you that the heavy feeling in your legs may not simply be getting older? What if the real reason your legs feel tired, weak, slow, or strangely heavy after walking across the room has been hiding in plain sight all along? Millions of older adults assume this feeling is just a normal part of aging, but some of the most important senior health tips after 60 reveal a very different story. And here's the concerning part. Many people ignore these warning signs until climbing stairs feels harder. Getting out of a chair takes more effort, or confidence in their own body slowly begins to disappear. Today, I'm sharing senior secrets that could completely change how you think about your legs after 60. Most people believe heavy legs simply happen because you are getting older. They think, well, I'm over 60 now, I guess this is normal. But reality often tells a different story. Sometimes your legs are trying to send you messages long before major weakness appears. And later in this video, I'm going to reveal the #1 reason many older adults experience that heavy, dragging sensation even when they believe they are doing everything right. And the surprising truth is, it has less to do with age than many people think. After 60, your body naturally changes in ways that are easy to overlook. Muscle tissue gradually decreases. Blood circulation may become less efficient. Joints become stiffer. Nerves can communicate more slowly. Recovery takes longer. None of this happens overnight. It happens quietly, little by little, year after year. Then one day you notice something strange. Walking feels different. Your legs feel tired for no obvious reason. Standing for longer periods becomes uncomfortable. And before we continue, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments where you're watching from today. And also tell me if your legs feel heavy mostly in the morning, during walking, or at night. I always enjoy hearing from people from around the world. Now let's begin with number 5. Number 5. Dehydration is silently slowing your body down. Most people never connect dehydration with heavy legs. When they hear dehydration, they think about thirst or feeling dizzy. They rarely think about their muscles or circulation. But here's what most people don't realize. After 60, your body often becomes less reliable at telling you when it needs water. I remember speaking with an older gentleman who said that every afternoon his legs felt like they were carrying extra weight. Walking around the house suddenly felt harder than it did earlier in the day. He thought arthritis was getting worse. He thought age was simply catching up with him. But when we talked about his daily routine, something surprising appeared. He admitted he barely drank water because he simply never felt thirsty. And this is where things get interesting. Your muscles constantly depend on oxygen, nutrients, and fluids to work properly. Water helps your blood move those supplies throughout your body. When hydration drops, even slightly, your body can become less efficient. In one clinical study, researchers found that even mild dehydration can reduce physical performance and increase fatigue. What this means in real life is simple. Your legs may begin feeling slower, heavier, and more tired without you understanding why. And here's what most people don't realize. In older adults over 60, researchers found that the body's thirst response often becomes weaker with age. What this means in real life is that waiting until you feel thirsty may sometimes be waiting too long. I remember another woman telling me, "I thought feeling drained was just part of getting older." But after becoming more aware of her hydration habits, she noticed something surprising. Her legs felt lighter, and she had more energy during the day. Because heavy legs are not always signs that your body is failing you. Sometimes they are quiet signals asking for support. But the next part is even more important because the next reason affects millions of seniors every day without them even realizing it. Number 4. Weak circulation may be reducing oxygen delivery. When people hear the word circulation, they often imagine serious heart problems or major medical conditions. So when their legs begin feeling heavy, they immediately blame age. They think, "I'm over 60, this is probably normal." But here's what most people don't realize. Circulation changes often happen quietly and gradually. Think of your muscles like engines. Every step you take, every time you stand up, climb stairs, or walk across the room, those engines need fuel and oxygen. Blood is what delivers those supplies. If circulation becomes less efficient, your muscles may slowly receive less of what they need. I remember speaking with an older woman who told me that her legs always felt unusually tired by late afternoon. She described them as feeling heavy and sluggish, almost like she was walking through wet sand. She assumed it was simply part of getting older. But what was really happening underneath the surface was different. You may also notice small signs that are easy to ignore. Cold feet, mild swelling around the ankles, tingling sensations, legs that simply feel exhausted even after a normal day. In one clinical study, researchers found that reduced blood flow in older adults was associated with lower mobility and physical function. What this means in real life is simple. If your muscles receive less oxygen and nutrients, your legs may begin feeling heavier and slower than they should. And this is where things get more serious. Many people respond by moving less because movement feels uncomfortable. But less movement can gradually reduce circulation even more. Suddenly, a small problem slowly becomes a larger one. The good news is this: heavy legs do not always mean weakness is taking over. Sometimes your body is simply sending signals before bigger problems appear. If this is helping you see your body in a different way, take a moment and hit the like button. Something as simple as one click helps us continue sharing trusted senior health tips that may help more people over 60 stay strong, independent, and confident. But the next part is even more important, because the next reason silently affects many older adults who believe they are staying active every day. Number 3. Muscle loss after 60 may be stealing strength without you noticing. Now here's something that surprised many of my patients over the years. You can actually lose muscle while believing you are still active. Many people tell me, "Doctor, I walk every day, so I know I'm doing enough." And walking is wonderful. It helps your heart, your mood, and your overall health. But here's what most people don't realize. Walking alone sometimes does not challenge your muscles enough to maintain strength as the years go by. After age 60, muscle loss can happen slowly and quietly. You do not wake up one morning and suddenly notice it. It often happens little by little until one day something feels different. I remember speaking with a woman who told me, "Doctor, my legs feel like sandbags." She said climbing stairs had become frustrating, and getting up from the couch suddenly felt harder than before. She assumed it was simply age catching up with her. But what was really happening underneath the surface was something she never suspected. Your muscles work like protective support systems for your body. They help you stand, walk, balance, and move with confidence. As muscle gradually decreases, your legs may still look the same on the outside, but underneath they may be producing less strength than before. Researchers found that adults can gradually lose muscle mass with age, especially without activities that challenge strength. What this means in real life is simple. Carrying groceries may suddenly feel heavier. Stairs may leave you tired faster. Even short walks can begin feeling more exhausting. And this is where things get more serious. Many people think weakness automatically means decline is becoming permanent. But in older adults over 60, researchers found that muscles can still respond positively to strength-focused movement. What this means in real life is that your body can still adapt far more than many people realize. That woman eventually understood something important. Her body was not simply giving up on her. It was asking for a different kind of support. Because heavy legs are not always signs that aging is winning. Sometimes they are signals telling you that your body still wants to become stronger. If this is helping you understand your body better, consider subscribing to Senior Health Support, where we share simple senior health strategies designed to help you stay stronger, more independent, and more confident after 60. But the next part is even more important because the next reason might be affecting people who believe they are doing everything right. Number 2. Certain medications may be contributing to heavy legs. This one surprises people almost every time because most people never think to connect medications with how their legs feel. They assume that if their legs suddenly become heavier, weaker, or more tired, it must simply be aging. They tell themselves, "I'm over 60 now, maybe this is just normal." But here's what most people don't realize. Sometimes the answer is not age itself. Sometimes the timing tells a different story. I remember speaking with a gentleman who told me his legs had suddenly started feeling unusually heavy during simple activities. Walking through the grocery store felt harder. Even standing in the kitchen for a while became frustrating. He thought his body was beginning to slow down much faster than expected. Then I asked him a simple question. "Has anything changed recently?" After thinking for a moment, he remembered that a few weeks earlier his doctor had adjusted one of his medications. Now, this does not mean medications are bad. Many medications are extremely important and can improve health and quality of life. But your body changes after 60, and sometimes the body responds differently than it did years earlier. Some medications may occasionally contribute to muscle fatigue, fluid retention, swelling, or feelings of heaviness in the legs. Researchers found that older adults are more likely to experience medication-related side effects because the body processes medicines differently with age. What this means in real life is simple. Sometimes symptoms that feel like getting older may actually have another explanation. And this is where things get more serious. Many people assume they simply have to live with the problem. They accept heavy legs as a part of aging and never ask questions. But awareness matters. This does not mean stopping medications or changing anything on your own. Never make medication changes without discussing them with your healthcare provider. Because sometimes your body is not telling you that it is failing. Sometimes it is simply asking for closer attention. But the next part is even more important because the number one reason heavy legs happen after 60 is something millions of people accidentally create themselves every day without realizing it. Number 1. Inactivity itself may be creating the problem. This may sound backward because most people believe that if their legs feel heavy, the answer must be more rest. They think, "My legs are tired, so I should sit down more often and avoid movement." On the surface, that sounds reasonable, and many older adults genuinely believe they are protecting themselves by doing less. But here's what most people don't realize. Sometimes the opposite slowly becomes true, and what feels like the safest decision can quietly create an even bigger problem over time. I remember speaking with a man in his early 70s who told me his legs felt heavier with each passing month. Walking through the grocery store had become tiring. Climbing stairs felt frustrating, and even standing for longer periods started feeling uncomfortable. Because movement no longer felt easy, he assumed resting more was the smartest choice. At first it seemed to help. Sitting felt comfortable, and avoiding activity felt safer. But over time, something unexpected happened. Weeks became months, and months became years. Standing up from a chair became harder, short walks began feeling exhausting, and activities that once felt simple slowly became more difficult. And this is where things get more serious. Your muscles are designed to respond to movement. They work almost like a system that adapts to what you ask of it. When movement decreases, muscles can gradually lose strength. Circulation becomes less active, joints may become stiffer, and balance can slowly begin to decline. Then moving feels harder, which causes people to move even less. And before they realize it, a cycle begins. Researchers studying older adults over 60 repeatedly found that regular movement helps maintain muscle strength, circulation, and physical function. What this means in real life is simple. Small amounts of movement today may help prevent much bigger struggles later. In one clinical study, researchers found that even moderate physical activity in older adults was associated with better mobility and greater independence over time. What this means for you is that movement is not simply helping your muscles work better. It may also help protect your confidence and your ability to continue doing everyday things on your own. Now, here is the encouraging part. Movement does not mean running marathons or spending hours in a gym. Sometimes it means standing up more often during the day, taking short walks, doing gentle chair exercises, or simply giving your body more opportunities to move. That gentleman eventually started making small changes to his routine. Nothing dramatic, just simple, consistent steps. And after some time, he noticed something important. His legs did not suddenly become 20 years younger, but they felt lighter, stronger, and more dependable again. Because heavy legs are not always your body asking for less movement. Sometimes your body is asking for the right movement. The most important thing I want you to remember today is this. Heavy legs after 60 do not automatically mean your body is giving up on you. Sometimes your body is simply trying to communicate with you. Whether it is hydration, circulation, muscle loss, medications, or simply moving less over time, these changes are often signals, not final decisions about your future. After more than 20 years of working with older adults, I've seen something powerful happen over and over again. People begin believing their strength is disappearing forever, only to discover that small changes can create meaningful improvements. Because independence is not lost in a single day, and strength is not rebuilt in a single day either. It happens one step, one habit, and one decision at a time. Your legs have carried you through decades of life, through work, family, responsibilities, challenges, and memories, and they can still support you in ways you may not realize yet. The goal is not to have the body you had at 20. The goal is to keep the strength, confidence, and freedom that allow you to enjoy life on your terms. If you found this video helpful, consider sharing it with another person over 60 who may be wondering why their legs suddenly feel heavier than they used to. Now, there is one thing many older adults completely overlook. Even if you understand why your legs feel heavy during the day, there may be a simple nighttime mistake making things worse without you realizing it. And the surprising part is that it happens while you are sleeping. In my next video, over 60. Do this before bed to restore leg circulation. Overnight, I'll show you a few simple habits that may help your legs feel lighter, more energized, and more supported when you wake up. You may be surprised by how much can change before your feet even touch the floor in the morning.